times, and you're seeing that duplicated here. Look at 4th to 5th place. That's only a 0.5 spread. Ridiculous point spreads, and we're halfway through. Let's get into game number 5. It's time to get started. See where these teams are landing.
All right, let's do it. Let's get started. And, man, game 5. So what could we be expecting? We're now past that halfway point, right? So at this point in time, if you're not in that top 10, maybe it's time to change something up. I'm looking at maybe the Space Force. We had a bit of a narrative about them. They were not within that top 10. They continue to not be within top 10. And I'm not even digging at them. I'm just saying, where are they at? They're so good during Code Bowl. Can they also be dominant during this Combat Cup? Aiming down, plates are going to be broken. Nice job, noobs, on your screen of Mexides as well. Your game 4 winners looking to go back-to-back.
Yeah, they made a massive jump all the way to 5th place overall. Only, like I said, about 0.5 points behind the next team. So want to duplicate that consistency. Now with 8 games, this is kind of an interesting conversation point just for a moment here, Taylor. You know, consistency is certainly going to be rewarded with 6 games. It's a very difficult thing to do. 8 games, the same can be said. A consistent team is going to keep up that consistency and find themselves near the top after 8 games as well. However, some of the teams that have been playing hyper aggressive and dropping some banger maps, but then also some 0s or some 3s or some 4-point games, they're going to be really happy about 8 games because it just gives them more of an opportunity to kind of balance themselves out. I mean, think about it. If you drop a 0 as game 6 and you have 2 more games, job's not done. If you drop a 0 in game 6 with 6 games, obviously you're in trouble. So 8 games kind of lends itself to a more hyper-aggressive playstyle. You don't have to be quite as consistent with a little bit more room for error, but we've already talked about how little room there error is for in duos here, especially in Vandals. So I like this change. I like that we're playing 8. Got a little bit more of an opportunity to work.
Yeah, right ahead, right?
All right, still on board with Noobs and Co. Mexides, seeing what they're going to be up to as they choose to rotate actually towards the end of Wsow. Maybe wanting to play a bit of that gatekeeper role. Players rotating in, they're going to be the ones to cut them off, but they are on the edge. So how many players could be over here? Well, I don't think they're necessarily too concerned with that at the moment, Goj. I think they're more concerned with getting kitted up and getting the money behind them. After all, this isn't...
Sitting on it.
Huh, I was like, yo, is this a free kill? Well, it might as well be. Noobs, he's going to make that push, and a narrative goes out of the way. And Mexides, out, hold up. Not free as I was thinking, and now it's do or die. Noobs trying to stay alive.
Pushes out, somehow doesn't grab the knock after that many bullets have fired is ridiculous, but does Chow find it. There's a second one, though, gonna have to hit a snipe close range out of bullets, trying to grab the reload, playing a little do-si-do, back and forth, 1-2, where am I? Barely grabs the victory against Noobs. If Noobs could have pulled that out, I don't know what I would have done. I would have left my setup and left you casting on your own because I'd be running around my neighborhood.
Running around the neighborhood, yo, honestly, bit extreme, but hey, honestly, Noobs will make you feel that way sometimes, especially with how good he can be. I thought there was not going to be anybody over there. I thought it was going to be nice and quiet. I'm setting up the narrative. You already heard it about, all right, they're just going to get kitted up, get the money. It's not Resurgence now. It's, you know, BR, but no, they do get pushed, surprisingly dropping down. We'll see how they can do in the gulag in just a bit. Jufasa as well as DJ Moss, to see them quite a bit. They're in a bit of a scrappy situation, and speaking of scrappy, Empathy also in the same spot. 2 eliminations. He's been busy since we've been off his perspective, and now he's got to try and stay alive because Stud Manny is gone. Empathy has been playing incredibly well today, but he's on high alert. Teams all around him.
Yeah, it's quite obvious this team favors the aggressive playstyle, right? They've always found themselves in fights early, and they find themselves at the top of the leaderboard. There's a reason for that. Kills are everything when it comes to this format. 1.5 times multiplier is great. 1.3 times multiplier is great for top 8, but like it's not that much in comparison to what if we would have played a little bit faster and found 4 or 5 points on the map rather than trying to rely on 2 or 3 points because of some math. So keep that in mind. The highly aggressive playstyle teams likely will be near the top of the leaderboard at the very end, so we'll see. DJ Moss, though, and I think even a lot of these teams are favoring the sniper. That does not discount what I'm saying about hyper-aggressiveness.
Oh, no.
Speaking of hyper-aggressive, Nick comes all the way across to Hisoka's Hisoka spawn, and Hisoka, yet again, was not expecting that close of an encounter.
It's, he's been pushed by Iceman. Iceman takes him out, off guard. Then you have Picnic also pushing him, takes him off guard, and maybe just they can be a little bit passive. And yet I hear the she's coming out, and I know why. Almond hits a nice snipe, and he's looking to capitalize off of that down by himself. And we're going airborne, straight to the roof, looking for the finish. Where's he at? Well, he gets a 2-for-1 special. There's the finish, but he drops. So was the commitment worth it? Well, you could argue no, but in my opinion, Goj, it was the best play to make. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, I don't think Almond has a license for that because he was not selling any. I mean, he was selling everything. I screwed that up. Sold is the answer. Almond sold hard. Went for a throwing knife there instead of just using his weapon on the player that was up. Crazy. I don't think he has a license, I think is what I was trying to go for. But Shifty back at it again. Somehow always alive, no matter the circumstances, always pushing. No plates, doesn't matter. Finds an elimination, plays still aggressive, forces his opponent to run away.
Shifty so good.
Finally dodges out into the smoke and allows Boobang from above to play a little bit of Overwatch, allow Shifty to find some plates, get back into the action.
He doesn't hit that, right? Okay, he doesn't. He is immortal. At certain points, I think he's immortal, and he can just do anything possible. Shifty staying alive with 4 eliminations, and Boobang sticking, on his heels, and that's really impressive. I mean, you've got a World Series Warzone global winner, okay? You also have somebody that won 4 out of 5 Resurgence Fondel tournaments, okay? And Boobang is sticking right to him, and you gotta give him credit. This duo, they're making magic happen now. Boobang does drop. That was Adrian who takes him down, I believe, but Shifty still alive, and he can make anything happen. We get on board with Adrian to see what he's going to be up to, and he wants Shifty. He is out for blood. Can he find him?
Yeah, I don't think Shifty's going to be hiding out behind the furnace there. He's going to be upstairs. He's going to be pushing the fight. They have to play together on the other side. Doug is raw, not Shifty. Gets the 2-piece. He says, I want the controller to aim for me. Let's pull the trigger and find out what happens. Doug is raw, goes big with the 2-piece down the stairs, sliding like he's got a sled, or like, Goj when he was 8 years old, sliding down the stairs on a mattress. Very well done for the 2-piece.
Your parents were probably not happy with that one.
That was a lot of fun, though.
Hey, no doubt. You're not thinking about the response. You'll ask for apologies later, man. You'll just do what feels good, especially 7 or 8 years old, dude. I'm not gonna lie, I tried that, but it wasn't with the mattress. It was with one of those big tubs, the storage containers.
Oh gosh,
the plastic ones.
That's like
I was out for speed, brother. I was out for mattress. You're dragging a little bit. Those little. And by the way, do not try this at home. I just want to say, okay, we're not advocating for this. We're just saying we were kids once and we had a good time.
Taylor with the disclaimer. Hey, look.
Yeah, I have to.
Slacks is one of those teams. It's a Space Force team, right? And this is one of those teams that we've kind of been cheering on and championing to say, hey, we need you in the top 10. We need to see Space Force up there. Let's get involved. They are alive. First time on main stage. But as we swap to Aydan, yet again, this team is slaying out, and their comms sound immaculate. Again, if you don't want to hear us casters talk, of course, you can tune into any of these streamers' POVs. I love kind of listening into their comms between our conversations, Taylor, because every time I hear them talking, it's just Aydan and Reddy sounding like they've been playing together for years. Their comms are immaculate.
Well, again, Aydan's been playing in plenty of Code Bowls. He plays with military service members. He just did so in Code Bowl recently. He loves talking. Bumaka, by the way. Bumaka making it happen. I mean, just a great player in general, looking to take this entire thing if he possibly can. We saw his interview earlier. But you're right. Back on the conversation of comms. I mean, Aydan, Reddy, sound like they've been playing forever. Sound like they're best friends. And I love that Aydan is such an inviting person. When you meet him in person, he's just such a good guy. Always has nice things to say, whether it be about myself or, other service members that he's been competing with. So always going to advocate for this man and his BR career. Been watching him since the very beginning, much like Destroy, and Aydan continues to strive.
Yeah, always finds himself in the money, always finds himself near the top, and one of those reasons is exactly what we're witnessing, right? Clear comms, clear IGLing without kind of shirking Reddy of any responsibility at all, right? Like, Reddy's been having some nice comms back and forth as well. They're just always conveying information, which is crucial in a kind of, chaotic game like Vondel, this is one of those things you have to think on your feet. This team's been able to do that pretty well today. So on 5 currently with Aydan, looking to clean up at least one above. They've always got a UAV popped. They've always got information. They need to find this fight, finish the fight quickly. Finds one, looks for the second. That's Rated getting cleaned up yet again by his Cheddar brother. But they gotta find the second one and move to the zone. They don't want to spend too much time out here. This is kind of reminiscent of what we talked about with Swish'em, right? They sat outside on the edge, outside of the zone, fought another team on the outside of the zone for way too long. Zone started moving and they get held.
I think it's a solid.
Well, they wanted to push a little bit further, or excuse me, a little bit quicker, but Aydan went down the grapple instead of going up. Sometimes that happens, but he gets into the engagement regardless. I mean, by the skin of his teeth.
Come on.
But he gets the elimination onto Scrub. Well done. Now, 7 eliminations goes. That is a high score line. This very well could be the strongest Aydan ready game we have seen so far.
That was disgusting. I mean, just foul that he wins that gunfight. Flawlessly executed yet again, and continuous comms here from Aydan saying, buy a UE, get us some information. I'm flying at this kid. I think it's a solo. Problem is, where do you go from here? There's so many rooftops you can get shot from. It's got to go inside, and you got to creep. Footsteps will give you away. Aydan says, okay, fine. You know I'm coming. I'm going to win anyways. We'll see. Pre-fires it, and I think we'll have to miss out on that fight. We'll tune back in here shortly in a second to see how it ended up, or as we swing over to a couple other players, and it is Shifty in the Gulag. Quickly back out on 9 eliminations as well. There's a making for 3 or 4 teams with some massive eliminations. The makings of the biggest game of the day.
I agree. Makings of the biggest game of the day, indeed. We just saw that actually in Game 4 with Noobs getting 13 eliminations, first place. That was the highest scoring game we have seen so far, at least with the multiplier. And I think this game is going to absolutely smash that record. Well done, Adrian. Good, steady shot. Takes down Destroy. You notice that's a team wipe. So Destroy's team gone. He will round off in 20th place. So Multiplier, he'll get a little bit of it, 1.1x, but I know he's not going to be happy with that performance. Given the fact that you go back in time, Destroy's roster with Bumaka, right, they were at one point in top 5. This is going to be their poorest placing. It could very well set them back a ton.
Anybody need a loadout? There's about 40 that just dropped. Probably 18 because there's 18 teams left, but still, that was so many. That was ridiculous. All very concentrated in that next area. But Super Evan pushes the equation yet again. Finds another elimination. Can he find 2? Yeah, no problem. Can he find 3, though? Out of... Riot Shield is what we're grabbing? Yeah, that'll be a 3-piece there from Super Evan. He says, thank you very much. I'm on 11 eliminations by myself, Taylor. FIFA's out of here as we're tuning into some other players' perspective. Super Evan on 11. We gotta watch out for that team, production. That is insane. 13 is
Super Evan's on 11?
By himself, 11 eliminations. 13 is the highest kills we've seen on main broadcast. A lot of teams vying for that top spot in this one. And it's Adrian going down with Iceman Isaac on the other side. What a chaotic end of kind of the middle game, as it were, as we enter into the end game. 14 teams left, Taylor.
This is nutty. Chat, how high are we going to go? I mean, honestly, call it here. First place, how many eliminations are they going to have? Because we have seen Super Evan with 11. Iceman Isaac pops off. He puts himself up to 3. And I already know his teammate has quite a few himself. We've seen 9 a little bit earlier. This is going to be a high-scoring game for sure. But this end zone, or this should be this end game, is going to be a bit dicey. There's only a couple of hard coverage here. And now that end zone, it's going to have 2 buildings right next to each other where the rooftops are going to be available. Everybody else, they're going to be squirming for just any kind of hard cover they can get, and I think for the majority of them, they're going to try and rock the water side and be just down below that water line if they possibly can, so they can avoid the sniper of Iceman Isaac along with his teammates. So this is not going to be an easy end game if you didn't set up early. For a lot of teams, well, they didn't set up early because how could you know where the next zone was going to be? Iceman Isaac in a perfect position.
Yeah, he's in a perfect position, but again, I'm going to kind of harken back to something we said earlier, kills are everything. You gotta hope Barrick has at least 3 or 4. Ice has to pick up at least 4 or 5 to make this kind of victory position work. Great prediction. They're 2 places away from the 1.3 times multiplier. You have to find eliminations. He's able to find 1. No, doesn't get the kill. No, he does get the kill on that. That's 4 overall. Barrick is finding a couple off screen. Yes, should clean that up, no problem. The team chemistry is working. The placement on top of this building is working, Taylor. They've got to keep the pace up. They found the 1.3 times multiplier, and they're spotting teams all over the place, but there's smokes galore. They've got to find some more eliminations. 1 out in the open. No, still not enough firepower to do it.
Nice.
Able to grab the second, though.
So this is Regiment Alpha. Regiment Alpha is currently not top 10. There's tons of regiments already in top 10, but Regiment Alpha is not one of them. This game very well could put them in there, and we've seen many teams be outside of top 10, win a game, get a 20 points, now all of a sudden they're in 5th place. That seems to be where they end up placing at, and this is very well going to be. I mean, honestly, it's looking easy from my perspective and could very well be one of the easiest in-games we've seen from a duo. Iceman Isaac is connecting on everyone, but high alert pops off. Someone's airborne and he hits the place. And hits the second shot. Iceman Isaac, baby. I'm loving what I'm seeing from you.
He had 1 job. You got the God spot. You have to execute on it, and he's doing it. I said 5. Iceman says bet. How about 6? Barracks has picked up at least 2 as well. The makings of the biggest game of the day. Unreal push here in the final moments. It's a 2v1 to finish it all. The God spot is always on top, but Taylor destroying Bumanka out with 10 total eliminations. I think we're going to miss that final fight, but the 2v1 you can only expect with high ground. Iceman Isaac should win it all there, and I think that's what you're going to see here in just a second, and there it is. Iceman Isaac on your screen, wins it all. Probably grabbed that last elimination. That's gotta be the biggest game of the day. I've gotta know where the rest of these teams fell, though, because Super Evan in particular, right? They probably had 13 eliminations as well. Like, this leaderboard is going to be so close.
Dude, I can't wait to see it, genuinely. I mean, that was a nutty game. That's game number 5, so 3 more games to go. But that was definitely the most competitive game we have seen so far, Goj, with so many high score lines. But Iceman Isaac, regardless, even if he doesn't have the highest score, which he very well might, that was a special end game for me. He was hitting so many incredible snipes. He almost looked like Bradman out there, but he's Iceman Isaac. Give him the respect he needs. And, you know, again, retired Air Force. He was an Air Force pilot, and I'd love to say that because, you know, he's done so much throughout his career, not only as a streamer, a competitive gamer, but a veteran himself. I mean, but then to snipe people out of the air like that was just truly special to see. An incredible game. They finally break through, and I felt like they were just waiting for a strong game, because remember, Iceman Isaac, he's been winning his gulags. They've been having great success, at least whenever we've been watching them from time and time again from the 5 games, but this game was special. Yeah, it's a highlight reel.
Look at these replays. I mean, the thing is, like, you put yourself in the position to do this, you just gotta execute. You gotta have the ice in your veins. You can't miss. Sniping, very valuable when it comes to duos of on duel. It is extremely powerful, but you have to hit your shots.